Port City FC starters. In goal, Kevin Christensen. Martin Rivera. John Ohuku. Josh Sayer. Jackson Menasee. Jack Steele. Chris Heckenberg. Alex Wilker. Gay Finley. Ryan Lee. And Thomas Mancuso. Microphone? Okay. You want to try on there or just... Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to table, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag. As we honor America and those who protect our freedoms with the pledge of our national anthem.
Hello all and welcome in here to the season opener, the home opener for Port City FC, and they're playing NCFC U23 here in the USL2 division. It is the South Atlantic division. Both these teams playing their first two games, a couple games already done and dusted in the division already. But so early on in the season, both these teams want to get off to a proper start here. To the new year, all these players off of their college seasons, and it's a fresh start here to the summer. Beautiful night here in Wilmington, North Carolina, as Port City FC are in the all-navy, their new kit sponsor this year. They're going right to left as NCFC U23 is in the white tops, navy shorts going left to right. In net for NCFC U23 tonight, it will be Sam Terranova. And in net for Port City FC, Kevin Christensen. Once again, beautiful night here in Wilmington, and glad to be with you as it's Zachary Buttright along for the ride this year. Glad to be part of Port City FC family once again for a second year running. It'll be NCFC. That'll kick it off first. A lot of expectations for both these teams, and both these teams coming over from the UPSL and then the NPSL, courtesy of last year. So moving their way through the ranks, you could say, and now see themselves both in the USL2 division. And we are off and underway here as NCFC will play it back and dink it forward towards the corner. Menasee there was the defender for Port City FC. He'll step now as it forces NCFC to play it back, all the way back to Terranova in net. Plays it out wide to Milazzo. Milazzo switches it to Lavelle. For NCFC going with two center backs and their outside backs pushed high already. Typical NCFC type football. That pass intercepted though by Heckenberg. And it's given quickly back to NCFC. Quick throw in. Both teams just trying to feel out the other team right now, and NCFC with all the possession. We'll see what Port City FC does in possession when they get it, but right now NCFC just slow and controlled in their own half. Right now inside their own 18-yard box. No pressure as well from the Port City FC front man. Now here comes the front three. They're pressing on that right flank, that far corner. Little pressure there. It's got to go inside. Three Port City FC players were around the NCFC defender, but was able to get rid of it, and now they have a chance on the break potentially. Does NCFC. Petz was running all the way inside the 18 from the right back position, but it was played back by Sikala. Milazzo, the captain for NCFC, this U23 team, the developmental team for the USL Championship squad. Petz gets it inside now to Hornada. Ortiz back over to Milazzo. Port City FC with no possession so far, just all NCFC, but right here in this middle portion of the field, so nothing coming from it as of yet, and Port City FC just sitting in their shape, but a good direct pass there just goes astray after they finally break the first line of defense for Port City FC, and now we'll see the first time in possession. Christensen will get it back into his 6-yard box. He decides to dink it long, trying to find his outside back there of Rivera. Rivera, a player returning from last year's squad for Port City FC. Really impactful defensively for the Gulls. The nickname in this coastal town of Wilmington, North Carolina for Port City FC. Ball just cleared away there by NCFC and throw in for Port City FC. So slow start here to the game, 3 minutes in, not much action inside either team's 18-yard box except for possession of their own. Breeze is going left to right on your screen. About 10, 15 miles per hour. Free kick here, quickly taken by NCFC. Foul was on Ortiz, gets up quick though, and play resumes. And Lee, who's the left winger for Port City FC, just standing in his spot now. NCFC trying to find the dagger of a pass. Here they're on the far wing. Pass blocked there though. Still with NCFC now. Petz tries to play a ball down towards the end line. He does now. It's with Hornada. Two Port City defenders though, trying to keep it out, and it goes out for a throw-in for NCFC. Dangerous positioning into the edge of the 18, trying to get on the turn. Can't clear it away there by Port City. And Minisi was one of the players there in on the challenge for Port City. NCFC with their line high. The two center backs at midfield. Offsides there for NCFC. Port City right now just trying to gather their thoughts and clear their lines. Christensen, pressure to his left, has to just once again hit a little dink, but misses. Mancuso, sorry. And he's over there now, won it back, and it's with Steele. Steele with a couple of howitzers last season, a couple of great goals from the man in midfield for Port City, but he's got to play defense now, and him and his teammate of Rivera, they do win the ball back now. Steele on the turn. Steele right in the center of the park. Tries to find Lee in behind. Lee was off sides, and It will be a free kick for, or just a play for NCFC here as they just get play resumed. Slow pace here to start the game and the seasons for both these two teams. Oh, big collision there. Steele took a shoulder but got popped up as quick as he went down to the floor. Lavelle, the counterpart to Steele there in the center of the park. They're wearing number 24 in white. Port City FC's got a lot of pressure when they've tried to play it back so far, and Cruz there was still pressuring the Port City player, and Cruz, his work will be rewarded. He'll get it back. He'll dink it over to a teammate, and now once again they'll go back to the center back, and they'll play this one diagonal. Still force Port City defenders there, but still on the foot of the NCFC player. Once again, we go around the back and cycle it around. Milazzo gives a thumbs up to Petz, saying he liked the check back. Give him a little bit more of an option. Tried to keep it in there, Lavelle, but was unable to. And Lavelle, who had switched with Ortiz, Lavelle, the left back, they don't mind putting their outside backs up high. NCFC still trying to get there, but Minisi playing it out wide. Can Port City hit on the counterattack? We haven't seen much offensive touches so far. Walker gets the first couple for Port City here now. Now they get their lines high to Port City. Heckenberg back over to Finley. Mobuku, the big center back for Port City, in the 26 right there. Thought about playing it back to him, did Sayer. Chooses not to. There's Finley now. Finley on the turn. Space out wide for Walker. 5 NCFC defenders in the box, though. Only 2 attackers for Port City. Nothing going there. They'll just decide to play it back to Minisi. Ton of space for him. Both teams really giving a lot of space out wide for these players to create in. Mancuso out wide there. Mancuso tries to run onto it. Can't, off the flick from Rivera. And it'll be a goal kick for NCFC and Terranova. Bunch of these players, a lot of NCFC youth history. Sam Terranova, one of those players, and NC State soccer as well. Personally, a strong connection to him as well. My college days were played under his father. He'll play it off now, and pressure there by Walker, but retreats now. Terranova, part of that NC State squad that made the College Cup final. Not last season, but the season before. Finley wins it back quickly now for Port City FC. First takeaway in that area we've seen, and it's short-lived for Port City FC as Minisi gets called for a little too much shoulder action. Minisi, definitely a player that we saw last season have a lot of physicality and not afraid to use that shoulder, and it's a fine balance there, just over the line. And Buku wins that header there over fellow center back Sayer, but a little miscommunication on NCFC. Still have it in the attacking third. Here they are, trying to direct pass. It's Cruz in on goal, maybe. In the 6-yard box, crosses it in. NCFC, oh, he's missed it back post. Oh, he just overran it, did the NCFC. Left right back. It was Petz all the way up from his right back position who got right on the penalty spot. Just overran it there. And it'll be a throw-in for NCFC after a great chance. Port City FC, though, quickly now. And Kuso had a good steal, but unable to keep it for Port City was Walker. Excuse me, that was Lee up front, the number 9 position player and wearing number 9. Steal there. And Kuso pressuring 4 Port City FC players. There's 6 on this total side. If they can switch, an FC might have a chance. They decide to go deep, and Mobuku was there, and Manisi gets tackled and to the turf right in front of us. That's a foul on Lavelle. What a great chance that was for NCFC, the first good chance of the game. Christensen, nothing to do there, just had to protect his ground. A lot of respect for the goalkeepers, played goalkeeper myself, so you don't know a lot about that, but definitely a sigh of relief for him there. Steele just somehow ball glued to his feet there. Pass though, intercepted, not enough weight. And it's just a mad scramble in the midfield once again. It's just ping-ponging around. We finally get some sprinting action. Manisi tries to get it there, and Finley trying to chase it down as well as Walker. Lavelle somehow keeps it in. Lavelle now takes on Mbuku. Lavelle big cross in, just too much for Martin on that far side, and Martin tackles Martin Rivera. So double Martin action there. Rivera takes the tumble, and it'll be a free kick for Port City. Great crowd here tonight at UNCW, the location for Port City FC's home matches for the men's team this year, and a great soccer venue for Seahawks soccer here at UNCW. And glad to be able to be hosted by them. Thanks for tuning in on Sports Engine as well. If you're here on this game, quick transition here. Now it's a 3-on-2 for NCFC. Oh, and Mboko was able to get his head there, and critically as well. And now can Port City have numbers going forward? No, they choose to go backwards. Manisi was offside, so he stopped his run there. Terranova just comes to collect it. I think both him and Lee were offside, so no real pressure here for the NCFC keeper. Proud ball sponsor for USL as well, Select. As you see, being knocked around the pitch right now, as we're about 14 minutes into this game. One good chance for NCFC, but other than that, it's been right here in the middle of the park. Nothing much exciting going on. New head coach for Port City FC this year, Austin Martz. Coached the Wilmington Hammerheads youth club for a while, played on the Wilmington Hammerheads professional team in the last couple of years of their existence before folding in 2015, so a lot of experience in professional career playing and coaching. Walker, or Finley couldn't get on the end of that one there. Christensen there with the big long ball, and this field also a little bit shorter than the home stadium for Port City FC last year of Legion Stadium. Obviously that being a football arena. You know, football being played there in turf. You know, obviously want to play on grass, and a beautifully cut grass field here. And also, like we said, though, a little bit shorter makes the game a little bit more compact, which you've seen so far. Mobuku tries to get the little cutback he does and gets pulled there by Cruz. You can't miss Mobuku on the field, that's for sure. Tallest one out there. Christensen Back to the all yellow man for Port City FC. Just past the outstretched leg of Rivera there, and cheap giveaway. Now NCFC will get the possession, and we've seen waves so far of just teams holding the ball, not much pressure from either team when the other is possessing. Sayer gets back to Mobuku. Now Steele decides to go wide to Minisi, back to Mobuku. Mobuku plays it inside. Now it's back to Minisi out wide. Back to Mobuku. Christensen will move the lines up. Minisi not afraid on this left flank. Both teams kind of playing that same kind of system where you have your two center backs and your outside backs just press high. That one's headed back to Terranova. It gives a lot more options to the keeper in all green for NCFC. Pets out wide. Controlled nicely. Minisi slipped and took out Pets there. And Steele, with a strong challenge, wins it back. Now it's numbers for Port City potentially. Inside there to Lee. Lee on the turn, and it's touched away by retreating Ortez all the way from the left side. And it's the first corner kick of the game. And it's going to be Port City FC that gets the privilege of that. Here it is, Steele. Seen a couple go in for Port City last year. A lot of the players still at the top of the 18, right by the D. Now they crash in towards the penalty box. Steele goes deep with it. Mobuku was the target, it looked like there, but just over curled it and went out on the end line there. That's definitely the target you want to hit if you're Port City. So once again, we get it started, and once more, we like to say that thanks for tuning in, and also it's a beautiful night here. If you're watching in the Wilmington area, definitely try to come out to a game. It's a beautiful time of the year here in early, middle May. A nice little skill move there to get it to Rivera out wide. He drives it into the 18-yard box, trying to find Manus, and he finds Finley. It's rolling away, and it got a deflection there critically. Terranova was left cemented to the ground. And Cusco there thought he had a temp. It went to Finley, and that'll be a steal corner once again. This one's played better. Terranova there collects calmly. Mobuku was on the penalty spot when that was right on the 6. Quickly stolen away. We're seeing NCFC give away a couple cheap possessions now. Lee touching around, still being pressured by defense, and he'll get called for a pull there on Lavelle. And 5 substitutions allowed in the USL League 2 if you're new here to this league. And once again, like all other professional leagues, and like you'll see in the World Cup this summer, 3 windows for those 5 subs. That one's lofted high in the air. Sun to our left. Not really an issue, still pretty high in the sky, but something to keep an eye on here as Port City give it away to NCFC now. Right on the midfield dot. Rivera wins it back, gets fouled by Cruz, and free kick Port City. New kit sponsor for Port City FC. Have beautifully designed the new uniforms. They got the home and away, the way, you know, with the kind of that coastal sea light blue color, and nice accents as well. Steele offsides by a whisker, and first real good chance other than that one that just fell to Finley. When you take a little closer look at that, it was a tight call. So 21 minutes into the game, and by the halfway point of the first half, what's the fatigue like for these two teams? Obviously their first game. Missed pass there from Betts, and Port City now in control. Port City have been the more dangerous team when they're letting NCFC possess. They haven't really given the ball away in the defensive third like NCFC have so far. And very similar pressing styles for both these teams. Port City FC have good numbers up on this line right here where Manisi is. It's over his head though by Christensen. A couple misplayed balls by Christensen already. You know, if you're NCFC, maybe let him try to take those longer balls on. Heckenberg. Steele battling around there as Ortiz was central. Big challenge in there by Heckenberg, and it'll be a free kick for NCFC. Peoples, first time we've called his name today, takes the tumble and tries to evaluate what's been done and gets up now with a little bit of a hobble, and it looks like he'll continue. Head coach for NCFC, Ryan Morris. Daniel Myers, an assistant coach for Port City FC, and Giovanni Vlahos, who has a coaching repertoire that I'm familiar with as well. Seeing him around the area and around Cape Fear Community College, coaching there. Oswaldo Peralta, assistant coach for NCFC U23, and Daniel Saletti as well. Rivera takes the foul, plays it quick. Both these teams, this is the style that both these teams want to play, and it's provided a lackluster 23 minutes so far. Lee trying to call for it as Manisi does find Lee, but he did stray off sides. Turnover with an athletic header away. For not though, as it was already called offsides. Now NCFC on that far touchline, driving in. Nobody in the box though. They're going to himself. Christensen makes himself big, and first save of the game for either keeper, and it was a big one. As Martin just drove down and took on a couple Port City defenders, but Christensen protected his angles and made the big save. Steele there. Wins it trying to find Walker, can't. Port City FC now just on their heels just a little bit as first shot of the game taken on frame. First shot of the game for NCFC. Mobuku gets it stuck under his feet but is able to collect it and pass it back to Christensen. We've seen some interesting games so far in the South Atlantic Division for USL2. 5-1 result for Charlotte Eagles as they beat Wake FC, and then a 3-1 result for Charlotte Independence 2 as they beat South Carolina United. And a couple other games ending in 0-0 and 1-0, kind of like the game we're seeing here right now. Now Walker. Walker right driving towards the end line, tries to cross it in. Oh, Port City FC had a couple players in there and they've missed the frame. It was Lee and Mancuso who were on the doorstep. Mancuso just couldn't get his feet balanced and took a tumble, and Lee as well, just calamity for Port City. But a really good opportunity. Still no attempts on frame to test Terran over yet. We have some life here in this game in the past couple minutes, and that is promising. You know, always whenever fatigue sets in this, you know, your first half of the season, you never know. You know, you always have your game plan. It's so far for both these teams, it looks like their game plans have been successful. But what can one of these two teams do? How can they find the breakthrough? It's Lee now. Lee, 3 NCFC defenders just lost the ball there, and ball took a right turn, he took a left, and NCFC clear, and it'll be a throw for them now off the head of Mobuku. Milazzo. Lavelle there, long ball, but right to Christensen. He'll take it to with his feet. You know, the new age goalkeeper is all about playing with the feet and being able to hit long balls just like that by Christensen. Good, nice use of the rainbow maneuver there, just to dink it over the defender from Rivera, and Christensen once again with his feet. The goalkeepers have had more touches than the center forwards so far in this game for both teams. Now, here's Manisi on this near-sided touchline. He plays it inside to Finley. Finley, though, trying to turn, but an NCFC defender was there first, and it goes all the way back to Christensen. And it stays with Mobuku. Young rosters. A bunch of 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds for both these teams. Crossed in now from Port City. Lee was on the edge of it. Terranova tried to save it. Couldn't, though, and it'll be a third corner kick for Port City FC. First time we've seen the corner be taken on the far side by Steele. This one will be an outswinger. Mobuku, once again, the dangerous threat. And CFC going with the zone kind of defense right inside their 6-yard box almost. Steele finding Mboko. Can't get to it, though. It's cleared away by NCFC. Not completely, though, as Finley still inside the 18, maybe trying to get across in. He does now. 3 NCFC defenders, but it falls down to Walker. He plays it across, and it's cleared out, but just barely. Still Port City with the pressure. Steele tries to play it in again. He does. Finds Heckenberg. Now Minisi. Minisi turning around with a little bit of space. Still dinking around now. Port City FC choose to go a little backwards as NCFC get their line up now. 5 across in the back for NCFC there while they're still trying to get out of this scenario. Here they do, and it will be a throw-in, so not all cleared completely, but NCFC there get through the couple of attacks from Port City. Right on the 30-minute mark. Here it is, right inside the box. Good challenge. NCFC still trying to clear it. They're just possessing out right now. They do boom it away, and chasing it down is Martin. Martin gets tumbled to the floor in a heap, but Rivera, deemed by the referee, was clean. Finley wants it out wide from Mobuku. He gets one lofted in the air. Finley not happy with that. Finley with the flow and the hair that bobs when he runs. You can't miss him on the field, that's for sure. He's got the look of a player that just is a perfect fit for a Port City FC team here on the coast. 2001 born player is Finley, so 25. Ball back in play now. Ornada can't find Ortiz, and now here's Finley. Big run him. Oh, what a challenge that is from the NCFC center midfielder, but it stays with Lee. Lee on the edge of 18, space, does the centering forward. Crosses it in, still with him, spinning back to him. Still with possession somehow. Steele decides a one-time cross is the option. It hits the first NCFC defender, but still cannot get it cleared as NCFC. Oh, and Mancuso. Oh, off the big touch of Lee there as Mancuso was able to get the cross in. It's just a big, massive humanity so far whenever both teams get into the attacking thirds. See if Port City can combine here. Finley decides to maybe take a shot on it. Goes to Lee. Lee onside. Tearing over off his line. Quick. Great work from the NCFC keeper. Well aware as Lee took a big touch in behind. Quickly claimed it. And had to stretch out for that one, did Terranova. It's tough as a keeper if you don't get much action to really stay focused, and Terranova there on the top of his game. Trying to catch his breath now. Manisi trying to go over. He does go over. Lavelle stays with Pets, and it will be a free kick. It'll be the Lavelle foul as Manisi went over the top of him. Sun now setting a little bit to our backs here in the broadcast booth. And it could be a problem here for Christensen as the free kick is almost lined up perfectly with the Sun behind. We haven't really seen many set plays other than the 3 corners for Port City, though, that have been dumped into the box. It's been a lot of quick possession for these teams, and wouldn't be surprised if we see another quick take for NCFC, and here it is. Zicala. Ortiz. Back to Milazzo. Jornada. Not in his traditional position. He shifted over here for the free kick and stayed over here so far. Jornada. There was a run inside by Pets. Pets has been running all over this right side and middle of the park, but misplayed there, and it'll be a free throw-in for Port City. Once again, a great night, a great crowd here for the season opener, home opener for the 2026 USL2 season. Moving up a league, both these teams, and Port City FC, I know, being in the program, it has been a great move for them, and it'll only provide great things as the years move forward for both these teams and Port City as well, especially playing in this beautiful venue. Lee chases it down now. He's got help from Walker behind. He tries to go himself, still with it somehow. They're saying it was out of bounds. Was NCFC? No, the play is still on. And Finley now with time to just stop and think for a second, and goes back to Heckenberg. Heckenberg pushes it with his right, goes over to Manisi. He's got a man on his back. It's Ortiz. He didn't know that. And now here's Martin. Slight counterattack chance here if they can find it. NCFC do have the chance here. Cruz misplayed it over, and it'll fizzle out just as quickly as it bubbled up for NCFC. Back to Sayer. Sayer pressured by Cruz. Cruz on him hard there, and will get called for the foul. Cruz just used a little bit too much hands there, says the referee. Christensen. Once again, like to thank our sponsors, all the sponsors for the USL League 2 and sponsors for Port City FC, as they provide this as soccer back in Wilmington, a beautiful thing. And once again, Port City FC moving up the ranks, UPSL team to MPSL, now to USL League 2. Excited to see what they can become as a team and organization. And it's dinked over the top. Manisi gets called for the offsides. The linesman, though, is still traveling. So I think it's where the center referee is. But Manisi with a big run from the left back position. Just mistimed. Terranova trying to say that it was farther up, but they played it anyway, did NCFC. It was a lot farther up as the linesman kept track with the play almost. It should have almost been 30 yards more into the attacking area for NCFC, but nonetheless, Mobuku just with the big frame, able to shovel off. Good use of his body. Christensen with a dud though. And it's Hornada who saved it with his chest, and still Sikala. Ortiz central, back to Hornada. Out wide, Petz, who's been all over this near side so far today when they do have possession in the offensive third here. Finley maybe thinking about going to sides not to. Lee pressuring a little bit. Out wide to Ortiz. Ortiz pressured by Mancuso. And they have to go all the way back to Terra Nova. So Port City's FC's Shell doing what it needs to do right now in the 37th minute of this first half. And a couple of really good chances, but a lot of moments of just possession like this. But here we are with Petz creating offense. Once again, here it is, NCFC. They've got a couple bodies moving forward. They shoot. Oh, it's right to Christensen's hand. Not the shot Martin would have liked. Martin, though, with another good look. Christensen forced to make his second save of the night. And Cruz was there with Martin, but Martin saw the opportunity and took the shot on. And we haven't seen many shots here today, so I'm not opposed to that at all. Martin there has to collect it after a loose first touch, and still with it is Martin, always tenacious with it, and it goes into Steele. He loves the turn, does Steele. Medici has to try and chase it down, though, as he won't. Good use there by Lavelle. Mobuku fakes it there, and it goes over to Heckenberg. NCFC already sending their substitutes out to just get warm a little bit. Maybe we'll see some halftime substitutions. But here's a chance for NCFC. Can they get back? Heckenberg does, and he plays it back to Christensen. Lavelle still pressuring. Christensen finds Medici, trying to flick it on. It's headed away, though, by Petz. And Heckenberg doing the dirty work there to get back and eliminate that chance. Interesting first half for both these coaches to evaluate in when they go back to the locker rooms here at halftime. Christensen, oh, with another dud. As that UPS or USL ball just flies over into the stands right in front of us. That teal and purple ball, that teal perfect for UNCW colors, which is where we are playing here tonight, the UNCW Soccer Stadium here in Wilmington, North Carolina. But Christensen's had a couple of duds so far, and NCFC have not really pressured him. But here they are on the offensive. Martin maybe taking it on again. He finds a slip pass. Christensen gets his left foot there, headed in, and it's a goal! NCFC U23 break the deadlock, and it's on the back post with Lavelle. And it's in the 40th minute for NCFC. Christensen made the first save, but it just went sky high, and Lavelle was there back post and out jumped the defender. First goal on the year to Lavelle. And Port City FC have some work to do here in their home opener to try and gather some points out of this game. Big change of momentum here. We'll see how both teams react. Obviously NCFC now up 1-0, but What's the response for Port City? They've had some good chances, but NCFC just driving down the wings, creating the opportunity there to break the deadlock. And Finley there, clipped in the ankles. Port City looking to go quick. Heckenberg, seeing Finley was down, decided to take his time there. And it was a good run from Peebles as it got flicked on from Martin, going back to the goal, and Peebles with the shot that had to be saved by Christensen. Christensen we saw last year for Port City FC in goal, and Eli Mumford as well. Mumford making some big saves in those moments, and Christensen as well. As there's Mancuso just taken away though now at Port City, trying to press here in the last 4 minutes of the first half. It's dinked long there, and that's all that NCFC needs here to end the first half. Joaquez Lavelle with the goal scored. There's also Luke Lavelle, so not to confuse those. Luke Lavelle in the number 20. Joaquez Lavelle in the 24, playing higher up the pitch. But here's NCFC just rushing numbers forward. Port City's midfield non-existent. Rivera, though, able to clear it away. And if you're Austin Martz for Port City, definitely trying to keep your team in this game and keep the work rate high. You don't want to go down a second here before the first half ends. Ortiz wins I thought it was going to be a corner. It looked like it might have been off Finley there, but it was a goal kick for Port City. And that was Cruz over in that corner. We'll see if Christensen can find his long ball here. Good connection there. Lees hits his body there, and it's just bouncing around, but the Port City midfield non-existent, and just a lucky Heckenberg deflection that gets to Finley. Both teams kind of stretching the field end to end. Not many players in the midfield. Steele by himself if he can get to him. Can't find him though. Manisi finding Steele, good connection. They've got a great chemistry, do both those players. Mobuku. Steele. Steele just tiki-taking now. Finley trying to run onto it. He does, and he will have an opportunity with space now. He drives towards the goal mouth, and it's cleared away by the NCFC defense once again, and that's what they've been so good at. Closing down is NCFC. Fourth corner of the game for Port City, and nothing to show so far for Port City on these corner kicks. NCFC's defended them so well. Into the box, and two Port City FC players collide. Lee pops it out back to Steele, just dinking it in. Headed on, and oh, just out and away. Good headed attempt. Best chance we've seen off a corner for Port City. Once again, an exciting year in the USL League 2 for Port City men's team. 6 more home games, 7 away, and 14 total games. As it's headed away there, Heckenberg will go and grab it and misplayed, as we've seen a little bit more end-to-end stuff here in these last couple of minutes when the teams have got fatigued. A lot of composure and discipline in the first 35 minutes, and last 10 have been more of what we've seen here, and a couple fouls as well, and that's when we saw the goal. Obuku with a good step there, finds Steele. Steele to Finley. Finley switched sides now, and with Walker, still unable to find a connection. And a quick end to the first half. Not much stoppage time needed, and it's 1-0, courtesy of Jacques Lavelle. And it is an interesting half to start the season, but we stay here for the second half, and what will Port City have to answer? We'll see here coming up after the break. I'm Zachary Butch right here for Port City FC versus NCFC U23. We'll be right back here after the quick halftime break. Welcome back here to UNCW Soccer Stadium for the second half of Port City FC versus NCFC U23, and it is 1-0 in favor of the guests here today in the season opener. Home opener for Port City FC. The goals, they're in the all-navy kit. They're going to be left to right on your screen. They're attacking that goal to your right with goalkeeper Sam Terranova with the sun in his eyes as the shadows creep across the field. Both teams already on the field, and the refs are just walking on, so a little bit of maybe earlier arrival for the teams, later arrival for the refs, who knows, but looks like we're about to get underway nonetheless. Still got some of the ball kids on the field. But a big step up for both these teams, and for Port City FC, first USL2 game. Goal scored by NCFC in the 40th minute by Jacques Lavelle. Courtesy of the shot that was saved by Christensen. It was a pass first by Martin onto Peebles. Peebles' shot was then saved, like we said, and went up into the air right around the 6-yard box, and Lavelle won the header over the Port City defender. So we're just about to get underway here. It's once again a beautiful night. Sun is setting, and it is a great crowd here. Numbers just keep rolling in for the first game of the season for Port City FC. Super excited to be with them once again. My name is Zachary Butchlight. Here we go in the second half. What can Port City FC do to answer that late goal by NCFC? We saw a lot of possession in the first 30, 35 minutes from both these teams. Port City FC already going a little bit more direct than we saw them do in the first half, trying to get it into Lee. Once again, the sun right behind us in the broadcast booth where the camera is. So we'll be in Terranova's eyes for a little bit. Oh, but here's NCFC now. Christensen off his line, chipped over him. Oh, he's missed a goal. That was a beautiful chance, but Martin with a little bit too much mustard on it. And you saw the attempt coming when Christensen came flying off the line. But we have life here in the second half to start. That's what we wanted to see. You know, what was the halftime adjustments going to be for both these two teams? And for Port City FC, it was going for it, and they gave away a cheap giveaway that transitioned for Martin. Could have easily doubled the lead there. Martin with a great chance, similar to the one they scored off of, but this time that one was saved by Christensen. That was before their goal was scored, of course. So here's Rivera now. Mancuso, Finley on sides. Terranova's got to retreat to his line. Here's Finley. He's taking it himself. He goes down towards the end line. Oh, terrible angle there for Finley. He really hurt himself by taking that last big touch. But Terranova makes once again himself big and gets the save. Not necessarily a save, but a good close down from Terranova. Mancuso gets it into Finley. Finley gets the cross in, but NCFC just bobbling it around, and there's Heckenberg. Mobuku. Maybe long-range effort from him. If he can get another opportunity like that, that would be speculative for sure. Mobuku. Find Finley. Touch takes him inside for Finley. It goes back to Sayer. Inside to Steele with two NCFC players. Can't lose it there. He does, though. Now here's Cruz. Oh, it's just too much for Martin, though. Martin have had a couple chances on this near side and that far side in the first half. And if Port City are going to go for it in the second half, they have to watch out for that counterattack. Cannot lose it there in the center of the park. Christensen, once again, not having the best of the day with his feet, but gets away with it. Heckenberg leaves it smartly as well. Christensen dinking it over to Martin. A good ball there. A big touch, though, by Martin, and CFC will have a chance to counter. Martin inside. Manisi there. Nothing, says the referee. As the goal scorer, Lavelle, takes a tumble. He gets up now, tries to retreat as Manisi presses towards the midfield line. Trying to find a through ball to steal. He does. He's got Lee to his right. He finds Lee now inside the 18. Big challenge in there. What a challenge it was for Ortiz at the last second. And it's just been that last bit of effort for NCFC right now, but a giveaway. Mancuso shot, deflected, Terrano gets to his right, headed in, it's a goal! And Lee gets on the end of it. Terranova did everything that he could. Very similar to the goal off the save from the keeper, this time of NCFC, and it's 1-1. It's all level here in the 50th minute. And Lee, who's been very limited on his touches after Ortiz had a great challenge there, just gets on the end of it. Good poaching from Lee, and Port City, the goals, get their first goal of the year. So Port City coming out strong here in this second half. And they go long range effort. Christensen was off the line. He was on the 18-yard box, but a bit of a exacerbated effort there. But you never know, you might catch one out. And there's been a lot of talk about the kickoffs and what you should do. A lot of professional teams have just been booting it towards the corner, seeing what they can get out of it. It's also a chance for NCFC to catch their breath instead of playing it backwards and having to try to feel the pressure of Port City, just playing it long and now trying to win the second and third ball, get a free kick as well. So that is what you look for. Try and slow the game down. Already a much better start to the second half than the first. A lot more action as well, as we're all level at 1 apiece for NCFC and Port City FC. It's a great first save by Terranova as well on the Port City goal. Just unlucky. The attacking player for Port City was right there. There's Cruz. Heckenberg gets it to Mancuso, who clears it only to the midfield line, and it's a big challenge. Mancuso, not the biggest player out there, but using his frame well. Gets a little bit of a talking to. Mancuso seems like he's not afraid to get a little physical, which is good, and Lavelle is, you know, a player that has got some size to him as well. Rivera gets a little touch on it there. Goes over to Jornada. Ortiz. Play along the run wasn't being made there, and Mobuku easily able to play that back to Christensen, who's got pressure from Cruz. Back to Mobuku. Mobuku just trying to dink it long, trying to find Walker. He decides to duck forward, and Milazzo connects with a center midfielder for NCFC. So 7 minutes into this second half, we've seen a lot more action, a lot of energy for both these two teams coming out of the halftime break. Christensen's got to come out and punches it only a few yards forward. He's got to get back to his line now as NCFC still on the edge of the 18. There's Martin. It's taken away, though, by Heckenberg. 5 bodies in there for Port City. One of them was bound to take it off. Now Lee. Lee's got space. Terranova's got to retreat. It's offsides now. Terranova went flying. And it was a late call from this nearsighted linesman. But I think it was the right one. You know, as a goalkeeper, it's always one of those things where if you have to make a save or spread out like that, you know, for a play that's already voided like that, it's unfortunate and a use of energy that you would like to have back. And no VAR here in USL League 2. Figured, you know, should say that as well, you know. VAR everywhere now, almost. And a free kick as a tumble there. Manisi Finley inside. He had a lot of space. Hornada played it to Martin. Hornada still with it. Finley trying to win the ball back after he lost it to Hornada. Here is Martin, though. Martin everywhere on this near side. Just gets it touched away by Port City, though. Port City still possessing, and Hornado came flying in. But Heckenberg just loses it cheaply. Cruz is inside if he can find him. Cruz is touched on, but Christensen was aware, and Port City had enough defenders there to make the weight of the pass go heavy. Lights on here at the UNCW Soccer Stadium, the proud host of Port City FC. 6 more home games for the men's team and 7 away games in this USL League 2 season. Don't forget the women's team as well. 5 home games, 10 total games in the USLW League. What an exciting adventure for them. They won 3-0 yesterday. A good start. Oh, it's a big challenge in, and that's going to be the first booking of the game from Cruz. Maybe lucky to get away with a yellow there. A little bit naughty, you might say. That's straight from the back. Ooh. That was a yellow for sure. And he will get subbed off immediately. Lucky to maybe even be making the trek over to the sideline to get subbed off. But also good to see the Port City player get up. Mancuso is up and away, and it's going to be 2 subs for NCFC. We see Cruz come off, and it's Peebles, it looks like. Try to get you the 2 players that just entered for NCFC. It looks like it's big ball in, though. Terranova's got to come off his line and collect it. He does once again. So 2 new players on this near side. It's number 46, Max Kiefer. And it's also number 20, Luke Lavelle over here on this near side. Trying to get the second substitute. It's number 18 now, Landon Petz. Peets, maybe P-E-T-Z. Pronunciation on that one. Pets or Peets. We'll go with Pets for that one as the center forward for NCFC. So 2 changes in 1 window for NCFC. No subs so far for Port City FC. When will they start making changes? There's Lavelle. Great in outswinging corner, or cross, excuse me, and Heckenberg was able to clear it away. Lee tried to touch it and gain possession, but NCFC on it, and Ortiz maybe has a cramp there. Yes, he does, in the right calf, it looks like. Port City FC only 2 players up. They're not even really doing much, just kind of standing, as the whole NCFC bench has been almost warming up since. 10 minutes left in the first half. Humidity is a little bit high tonight here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Ortiz right now is staying on. Referee signals for the sub as the trainer does come on. As it looks like it will be the end of the night for Ortiz. So the second window already for NCFC in quick succession. We'll see if they choose to bring on 1 or 2. Gives a chance for all these players to grab some H2O or electrolytes. right around the hour mark of this game. 2 minutes till that, 58th minute. We saw a goal in the 40th minute right before halftime for NCFC. Kind of broke this game wide open as Port City FC came out fighting, and they came out with vigor in the second half and scored in the 50th minute. Goal scorer for NCFC was Lavelle, Jacques Lavelle, and number 9, Ryan Lee for Port City FC. So our T's will make the stroll off the pitch. So it's going to be number 43, Landon Wilkinson, excuse me, number 43. So one more window and 2 more subs for NCFC. Port City FC still no players up from the bench area. We'll see if that changes as they like their roster they have out right now. Granada took a big collision in Finley. Just pinging the ball back and forth, and Mobuku now Port City in their shell a little bit. This game tied up, knotted at 1 apiece. Which team can get the deadlock broken? Steele with a good counter now, potentially. A little too much there for Walker. Walker still pressing. Lee, central located. Finley decides to stay back. Walker goes into position. Once again, sun setting here. Beautiful night and lights are on. What kind of late drama are we going to see potentially? And Kuso able to knock that one out. And it's just been a good shape so far for Port City this last couple of minutes. Kiefer driving down the end line. He gets by Rivera. Kiefer trying to drive in. Rivera, big challenge in there. Stays in somehow. Oh, they say it's a goal kick now. Rivera, a tough player to get by on that right side. We saw it last year. Port City FC, good year last year. They made the semifinals of the NPSL. Lost to eventual champions of the division. That South Atlantic, or Mid-Atlantic, excuse me, division, and in which Hickory FC was really good. That's deflected out. First corner of the night for NCFC. What will they have up their sleeve? Looks like it'll be taken by the goal scorer, Lavelle. All players back post on that back post 6-yard box corner. So far post. They're all running now across the 6-yard box. And Christensen misses the punch. No danger right now, though. It's just bobbling around, and it gets cleared by Port City. Interesting corner there, designed from NCFC to run all their players towards the ball on the 6. Mobuku just flips that one wide. It's going to roll out for, it looks like, a corner. Maybe it's going to stop, hit the flag. It's still in. One of those ones that is funny. Christensen comes and collects. Can he play quick? Yes, he can. Mancuso. Rivera. Mancuso there. He was out of bounds there for a second. Rivera's pressured heavily by Lavelle. Sayer, nice. Cut back, still once again trying to find some skill moves by. Kiefer pressuring hard though. Kiefer winning it back for NCFC. Now they're inside the 18, 6-yard box. Big challenge away. Recover from Sayer. Second corner of the night. This one once again by Lavelle. See if they'll do the same tactic they had last time. Looks like they do. They've got at the top of the box. It is Zicala. They'll do the same thing. Christensen stays on his line this time. Mobuko headed it away. Of course, tallest player on the pitch right now. Played out wide once again. Lavelle is over there. Rivera pressing. It's one-on-one right now. He's got some help from Finley. Lavelle goes inside, gets help from Anisi. Cross Mobuku again. Cleared for Port City. Only to Kiefer though. Still on the edge of the 18 on that far touch line. Now it's whipped in, into the box, headed on right to Christensen. Great chance by Cruz, the diving headed attempt. Momentum in the favor of NCFC right now. A couple of good corner kicks and pressure on NCFC, forcing Port City to be on their heels. But now here comes Steele and Misi. Only them right now in the corner for Port City with 4 NCFC players over there. And it is stolen away by the white-shirted NCFC players. Christensen stuck in no man's land. Ooh, looked dangerous there, but finds Sayer. Sayer, though, stumbling around. Good pressure by Petz. Petz now pressuring Moboko. Just a lot of defenders there for NCFC. There's 4 over on that side, just 1 Finley for Port City. Navy shirts just late in attack. And we will see the first 2 subs for Port City. It was the 2 players that were standing up. Coming off is the goal scorer, Lee. Replacing him, it will be. It's also Lee and Finley. It is number 11. We saw him last year, Caleb Powell, the UNCW player. This is a home field for him, and it's also number 15, Grant Stewart. Powell with a couple of good goals last year for Port City FC. Now he's in his stadium that he plays all college ball at. Oh, he's onside is Stewart. Powell was offside, but Stewart tries to find Powell, but just over the head of Powell. Great design by the 2 fresh legs for Port City FC, and they're already connecting. Good combination. And fresh offensive prowess for Austin Martz's squad. First time we've seen him off the bench, clapping his hands now. The 67th minute now in the first game of the season. Oh, big touch by Heckenberg. What can Petz do here? It's 3v4 in favor of Port City, but no NCFC. Petz cuts back shot. Oh, the sting was taken off of it so much that it could just be touched down by Christensen. Definitely a more exciting first portion of this second half than we saw in the first. 4 NCFC players boxing around Mobuku right now. There's Lavelle. Stewart lost the ball there with Mancuso, and it's back. Wilkinson, who replaced the cramping Ortiz. Wilkinson, not much for him to do so far. They had a couple good combinations around him there, but Port City wasn't able to finish on it. There's Kiefer. As that's given away now. Walker finds Heckenberg. Heckenberg driving in on NCFC's defense, finding Powell. 3 defenders around him, hard to deal with that, and it gets poked away. Heckenberg now has to reset outside the 18. 4 defenders inside the 18 for NCFC, and a great defensive 3 in the middle, and almost 5 with the 2 wingers pushed in. Both teams playing the same formation today as well. Always one of those matchups that you see be tight, and we've seen it today. Will we see a second booking on the new man on the pitch? Caleb Powell gets booked, not but 3 minutes into his shift. Definitely not the start he would like to his USL2 campaign. But as an offensive player, not something that necessarily you have to worry about. Another sub here. The last one for NCFC, the last window at least, so they'll leave a substitution out on the board. It is Hornada coming off, and replacing him is number 41, Harrison Rice. So that should be it for NCFC in terms of subs. Port City FC still with 2 window availabilities and 3 subs. Wilkinson, a little over the head there of Lavelle. Rivera there, not much on it. Linesman says play on, and Christensen's got to come off the line. It does fall aimlessly into the box as Rice trying to chase it down. New man on the pitch. A couple new attacking faces for both of these sides. So 20 minutes left in this game, plus stoppage time. Will one of these 2 teams find the winner? You just feel like if one team does find the second, that will be the game winner. Feels like there's only one more goal, if that, in this game. Christensen once again over the head of Minisi. Christensen is for Port City. They've tried to try that diagonal winger ball a lot today, just unsuccessful many times. But sometimes you got to stick to the game plan. Once again, Port City FC men's team, 6 more home games here on Sports Engine. Make sure you tune in for those. But here, we've got a great finale to our game. Heckenberg crossing it in. Back post steal, was just a little behind it. Lavelle able to get it cleared, but just barely. Still possession for NCFC. Big touch out of bounds. Very unhappy there is the goal scorer, Lavelle. Lavelle combo. Steal knocked down to the ground. Rivera gets a ball inside the 18. Not much on it, though. Stewart pushed back, and NCFC able to get it cleared. Now here's Kiefer, though, for NCFC. Stewart gets shuffled off the ball, and now Kiefer running with it. Rice was offsides, just overran it there. Kiefer had to hold it and play it backwards. And overplayed. And it'll be a Christensen goal kick. And once again, don't forget Port City FC women's team as well for USLW. 5 home games. They've already played one of their away games, a 3-0 win. So really good success in their history for the women's, moving up a league as well into the USL. USL has got something good creating the culture. Talked about promotion relegation once. I think they're going to establish that maybe eventually. Don't quote me on that, but definitely something that's been in the talks for the USL system. We'll see how well that transpires. But for right now, we're enjoying a great match here in Wilmington as NCFC try to look to take the lead. Rice dummied it there, and Heckenberg tries to find Walker. The field really opening up right now. Heckenberg with a great touch here. He takes on the last defender, but covering is NCFC defense. They're coming back. Now Walker cuts inside. Mancuso pushed off the ball. Referee says yes, it is a free kick. Thought about it for a second. Head and hands for Sikala for NCFC. This is a dangerous area for Terra Nova. Looks like he wants 4 in the wall. It might be just a little bit too far, unless we see something special. Jack Steele has really hammered some goals home last year, and wouldn't be surprised to see something spectacular here. We'll see, though. Powell over it as well. Steele with his left foot, Powell with his right. We got a Port City substitution in the wings. See if they want to get that in now, though. They'll look for that after. Manisi is far left of the wall. Powell takes it himself, and just really of a dud of an effort. But a good look there for Port City, and we'll see the substitution now. Mabuku will come off, the big center back, and get replaced there. Big ovation from the crowd. As it's Will Fatzinger. Second window used there, 1 sub, so 2 subs available for Port City FC, and Fatzinger, a stalwart there in the Port City defense last year. Uprooted by Mobuku, but getting 15 minutes here. A critical 15 minutes at that, as we're squared 1-1. Lavelle knocking it around there. Inside pass, in top of the box, shot, goal! NCFC with the potential game winner! And it's the substitute, Max Kiefer, crashing in and slamming it in. That's the attack we've seen NCFC try to create this whole game, and they get rewarded finally. It's a ball played across by Anderson O'Sullivan, who came on for NCFC, and he gets an assist. And in the 77th minute, Kiefer may be the game winner. And what a start it would be for head coach Ryan Morris to have 2 substitutes connect. Nothing like for a head coach to have 2 players that you bring off the bench make an impact into the game like that. So what will the game plan now be for Port City? We saw them have a good response into the second half. I'm sure NCFC will sit in a little bit now as the lights start to take more of a presence. A big pull there from Walker. Play on as there's the goal scorer, Kiefer, the game winner right now. So we're there to Pets. Pets driving in, fresh legs there, poking it once again. Oh, what a save! Christensen gets across this time, learning from his past mistakes. Big save there for the Port City FC netminder to keep this game alive for Port City. And there it is for Mancuso. Can he get there before Terranova? He does. Oh, he gets clipped! The referee says nothing there. Oh. Yes, it's a penalty now. As he called it late, maybe. What a late call by the referee. He really thought about that one. As it is all broken out here late at the UNCW soccer stadium. As we'll take a look at the replay. That was close to being outside of the box too, but the ball is gone, takes a shot, clips him, that's in the box. Good call from the referee. Just took him a while to make the call. So who will take it? Will it be Powell or Steele? Terranova has a chance to right or wrong here. As we creep towards the 80th minute here. It only took 10 game minutes to equalize the first time for Port City FC. This would be 3 if Steele can find the back of the net. Steele with a couple quick shuffles, takes it, and top left corner. And Terranova grabs the ball. They'll have a little bit of an altercation there as it goes back towards the goal. You knew Terranova wasn't going to be happy with that, but when he watches the film, he'll see that he maybe wasn't the wrong there, and it's all square once again. I said there was only one more goal maximum, but Jack Steele once again starts his USL2 campaign with a goal, and he hypes up the crowd. He loved that last year. He's a crowd man. He likes getting the crowd into it. We saw it last year with a couple beautiful goals he scores. This one more on the easier side, but it still equalizes as this game is in the balance once again. Can you believe what you're watching? After watching the first 30 minutes, who would have thought we were at 2-2 in the 80th minute?
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special birthday announcement. Mr. Kevin Smith, father of our own number 13, Caden Smith. Happy birthday, Kevin.
So a total of 13 minutes trailing for Port City today. Obviously the halftime break separates the first equalizer, but Port City coming back twice. Maybe that's their MO for the season. We'll see. Hopefully they don't want to trail much, obviously. But you must think these last 10 minutes are definitely going to be on the edge of your seat stuff, as the home crowd now back into it. Heckenberg almost stole it there off of Sikala. Just has to be played long there by Wilkinson. Kiefer, who thought he maybe had the game winner. It's off of Kiefer. He'll be throwing there for Port City. And Rivera calling for Walker to come over. They'll play it short instead to Mancuso. Steele now, driving. He plays it over to Powell. Powell on the end. He's got Manisi running to his left. Chooses not to go there. Drives inside instead. Heavily pressured. They'll now find Manisi. He slips, somehow gets up and still retains possession. Incredible. Oh, and it's stolen away by NCFC. It's the substitute there, Rice. Jack Steele with a little bit of a blunder. But numbers back now. Steele having to press out wide. Crossed into the 18. Fatzinger gets a toe to it critically at that and cleared away by Mancuso. Still a lot of space in the middle of the park for NCFC to try and do something with. They'll just play it back. Well, Sakala, excuse me. It'll go over to Sakala. Sakala with the low socks on. And a nice leave there by Lavelle. But just a little miscommunicated with Petz. Heckenberg over to Rivera. Big touch by Sayer. Oh, and Sayer cheaply gives it away. Hetkenberg has to go and flying around our bodies, and it's with NCFC and Kiefer looking for the double. He gets a little contact. Referee says yes, it's on the edge of the 18, and a dangerous, dangerous opportunity as Rivera just got a little bit too antsy there on that challenge. So NCFC, 4 minutes after conceding the equalizer, once again have a chance to reinstate their lead. It is Lavelle, Luke Lavelle that is, over it. He goes off of it now, and it is the other Lavelle, Jacques Lavelle, the first goal scorer of the game. Got some noisemakers in the stand, making sure they hear. This is going to be right on frame. Christensen decides to palm it away. Safe there from Christensen. Maybe could have caught it, but safety first. Played out wide. Kiefer unable to get to it, and it'll be a Port City throw. Port City know that they might be able to steal 3 points out of this game, but I'm sure that they'd be happy with the result as is. What a season opener for both these two teams, though, and a home opener as well. A little push in the back, maybe, as Wilkinson got into the back of Walker, but it was minor. Lavelle with tons of space. Steele, who's been all over the pitch today. He's a 90-minute player, that's for sure. It's over to the other Lavelle. Oh, he just didn't get enough on it, as they'll just call it a goal kick. Christensen will take that. Maybe soak up some time, and it'll be the final substitution opportunity for Port City FC. They will take off Mancuso. A good day from him. Mancuso won the penalty that tied this game up. Big part so far of being able to run into that, getting clipped by Terranova. He'll be replaced by number 6, Troy Myers. We'll see what Myers can do. Terranova calmly collects this. Now we're into the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds of this game. It's crunch time. And surely a goal now would decide this game. Wilkinson, no pressure, so he puts his foot on top of the ball. Lavelle, Jacques Lavelle, being pressured by Stewart. Stewart on him hard now. Heckenberg, comes over and gets a giveaway. Now it is Myers who gets it for Port City. Can they try and build from the back? No, they can't, as NCFC win it back. Lavelle plays inside to O'Sullivan, who's already got an assist on the game. Rice tries to cross it. It's in the back of the net. He's offsides, though. It gets called back as Lavelle thought he had the game winner. A double Lavelle goal from Luke and Jacques, but Luke will not be rewarded, just straight offside. But what a dangerous attack. Great ball in by Rice. Caught Christensen in no man's land. Oh, Lavelle took a slip there and he got contacted with his head. He comes back and fights. We've seen that a lot as Rivera tries to jump on this one. Now, Steele pressuring over there will slowly pressure Lavelle. Powell keeping him to this side. Now they get out of it to NCFC. Manisi pressuring from the left back row. Powell just pounding it off of the NCFC player, winning it back. But for how long is the question? It's been exchanging hands left and right, has the ball so far in this last couple of minutes. Myers, who's played more of a central role as Jack Steele has been pushed out to the role that Mancuso left. on that right wing. Sayer, Christensen, Fatzinger getting wide. Christensen plays it long. Second ball won by Manisi, and just taken off Manisi by Stewart, his fellow teammate. Myers open in the middle of the park. They'll find him now, pressure towards his right. Trying to get back out there to Stewart, and it's last off of NCFC. The three players over there in the white shirts all said that it was off of Stewart. Rivera now, space to work with. 2 banks of 5 almost for NCFC. It's actually a bank of 5 and a 4. Offsides, though, was Walker. As we're 50 seconds from the 90. How much added time will there be? We'll see if the referee gives us a signal. Port City FC maybe here. A couple of chances. Not sure there'll be much added time. Maybe 2-3 minutes. Powell finds inside to Heckenberg. Powell loses it. Big sliding challenge. And still with Port City. Gets pulled down, does Stewart, and it's once again a free kick in a dangerous area. See what Port City can do. Obviously throw numbers forward. Mabuku not on the field. Obviously that extra height. We didn't see him connect today offensively. The Port City FC center back. Rice took a challenge to the ankle there, comes up hobbling. Steele with his right this time. Is over it as well. Stewart as his left. Stewart with a little jump step. Now Steele plays it inside the box. Headed. Walker got the head, but it was almost a defensive clearance. And NCFC does get it away now. Christensen off his line, flying out there is Petz. Oh, Petz has stolen it! Oh, he's taking it in! And it's the game winner potentially for Petz! Can you believe it? An absolute stunner from Christensen! Oh no! Do you believe it? And Rice down behind the play. We talked about him being the ankle wounded there. And Terra Nova's mistake for the penalty gets an equally, if not worse, counterpart from Christensen. Wow. Wow, wow. Let's take another look at that goal scored there by Petz, the substitute. It's just been sloppy all night from Christensen. And he gets the price paid this time. He tried to slide and get the red and take out Petz, but just couldn't do it. And the last 2 goals, Kiefer and Petz, the second and third for NCFC, scored by substitutes. This one unassisted, but substitutes for NCFC. And Ryan Morris proving to be the difference, as it's 3-2 now. And once again, no subs available for NCFC, so with Rice having to hobble off the field, it will be 11-10 here for the last couple of minutes. Not sure how much added time there is. Not sure the ref awarded it. Well, can't be much. The goal was scored right at the 90th minute. And all the bodies forward for Port City now. They have a player advantage. It's 2 blocks of 4 and 1 attacking player for NCFC. Out wide is Steele. Can he get to it? He can, as Lavelle gets thrown down, and that'll be very, very sweet for Lavelle, as he'll get to milk this one out. They will take their time on this one. But what an absolute stunner from Christensen. Terranova making sure he gets the ball placement right. Got to take every second you can. And a little interest with Rice going off. But if there is a set play, numerical advantage for Port City. Not the greatest from Terranova there, but it gets the job done all the way back to Christensen. First touch after the blunder there. He'll decide to pick it up and then put it down. Gets a good long ball in there, maybe a little bit too good. Headed away by NCFC, can't be much more than mere seconds. It's with Walker, finds Myers and just punched away, just a mass of bodies there. There's Steele just trying to get to the end of it. He's just gassed though, you can see it in his face. Lavelle just shielding it to safety, and once again, Lavelle doing what he needs to do. It's all on to the referee's watch now. Can NCFC get the maiden win here in USL League 2 in their first attempt? Can Port City FC answer for a third time? They've only got a little bit of hope left. That one's boomed by Lavelle. He's done everything he needs to. Referee hasn't looked at his watch recently, so that leads me to believe that he's going to at least let this attack go. Big touch there from Fatzinger, sliding challenge by Pets. Terranova takes it. Thought he was going to take it down with his chest, but safe call there to basket it down. And a countdown also for the goalkeepers now. I think it is 6 seconds. If not, it's going to be a free kick awarded. That one's boomed. It stays in bounds, maybe. Oh, a great touch by Jacques Lavelle. Just causing havoc for Port City. Steele. Oh, he's still with it. Oh, it's a foul call, though. Lavelle did everything there. Christensen maybe takes this. Numbers up. Ball still rolling. Stopped by Sayer. Christensen can move that forward if he wants. I'm not sure if he knows that. He will move it forward a little bit. Maybe last attempt here. Can Christensen right or wrong here and place a beautifully placed free kick into the box? Oh, it starts off nice, good direction, cleared away by NCFC. And there it is, the 3 whistles, and it's over. NCFC take the lead 3 times in the third and final time. It stands off a absolute blunder from Christensen that he'll remember for weeks to come. But a great game. In a first half that we saw the first 30 minutes just be possession-based and neither team get a shot on target. To finish 3-2, what a great game. Hope you stay tuned for the next week's game. It's Port City FC Women's, and they will play their first home game. But Port City men will return in a couple of weeks. Don't forget to look on Instagram to watch and follow to see the schedule. We'll look back at the goals in this match. That is the first goal scored by Port City FC. Terranova almost got to the second effort. It was then 1-1. We saw the cross come in. A beautiful finish by Kiefer to finish as the substitute. And there it is, the absolute blunder. Something that as a former keeper just haunts you. And it's one of those that decided the game as well. But Christensen had a good save after they conceded the second goal on a very similar attack. And here is early on in the game. The first goal saved Christensen up in the air, and just out-jumped was Lavelle. And once again, we see that similar situation. Kiefer comes crashing in here. Christensen made a save like that right after that moment. There's the goal that decided the game. Sure, Christensen wouldn't want to see that much more than we have already shown it. But the game, once again, 3 to NCFC U23 and 2 to Port City FC. Thanks for tuning in on the channel and Sports Engine Live as a part of TSC TV. I'm Zachary Butcher. Thanks for tuning in. Stay with us next time. Hope you are joining in again. For long, so long, farewell, and till next time.